So I bought 2 new lightsabers recently. They're from cxsabers. I'm here to give you guys a quick little review on them and, see if it's worth spending your money on. But just a few things I wanted to point out. These lightsabers were during their May the 4th sale, which was like $109, but it was a Darth Vader or whatever, Lord Darth code to get at least $10 off my purchase. I don't think the 50% off is available anymore, but I believe their code is still available. Without their code, it is like $100 or like $200 more. But for their quality, they're not bad, and I'll give it that. But let's go ahead and I'll show you guys what these lightsabers are. We'll start with with just one. So this is one of the CX the trainer blades. Now for its quality, it's pretty good. I like it. So this is a baselit. So what that means is the flashlight. It's a flashlight. It's in the hilt, and the blade itself, it's hollow. So which means the blade is obviously going to be brighter towards the bottom rather than at the top. Now, I think that the quality is pretty good. It's on red. It's confusing, the buttons. But if you get it down, so for when it's on, press and hold it once, it'll do that. Sorry for people who have seizures or whatever. Press it twice. You can, and keep pressing it. You can do this and change colors. And then if you hold it 3 times, it'll cycle through colors. When it's off, which for this one, you can just do that. That one you cannot do that with. You can start changing the volume on these. That's low. And we'll go ahead and give you guys a sound test here. So for this one, the sound quality is not the best when you're moving in and around. But I mean, you get what you get for it. It's what it is. But as far as this one goes, I think it's pretty cool. There's a part you can like screw off here. Now the battery is USB-C, so for both of them. So if the charging is, pretty good. Let's get to that right there. You get USB-C. It's pretty good quality for what it is. In fact, you can barely tell if you're like in a pretty light lit room that it is a baselit, because baselits typically fall off significantly at the top, yet I don't really see much of a difference compared to my Leia Organa or my Baylan Skull neon-pixel lightsabers or LED lightsabers. But for this is pretty good. But the other one, so actually you can customize the colors of these two. But this one I think is just better because with the silver one you get motion controls and stuff. Let me show you. Yeah, you can just flick it like that. And like that, I'll go ahead and do a comparison in case you don't believe me. This is my Baylan Skull, Black Series, LED, all in the works. And you can see, the difference is pretty, pretty spread out there. Okay, sometimes motion controls just don't want to work, but, it is what it is. Now, moving on to the black one. Now, one thing I do want to point out on both lightsabers, they give you optional grips. You can put those on yourself. Now, I will say about the grips, they don't stick very well, so you might have to tie a loop through each one of them. I did. Yeah, but just in case want to deal with these. Now with this one, it's the same thing with the silver one, except that this won't get motion control, or so you can't flick it on or whatever. So I think. Yeah, no. Yeah, it won't do it. But it will have better motion, the sound can obviously be detected and whatnot. You guys probably couldn't hear me, but since it doesn't have motion controls, the sound does perform better on this one than it does on the silver one. So yeah, but the baselit is the same. It's pretty much the same as this one. It might be better on this one. I don't know, but overall pretty good quality on both. What else? Another thing you can do is connect them. So let me show you. Actually, before I do that, each and every one of these sabers, they give you 2 of these adapters, so you can screw them on and just hook them up and start, dueling and whatnot. So let me show you. And now these are pretty big. So I'm 5'7", 5'8", 5'8" and a half, I'm pretty sure. And it's taller than me. Now granted I ain't tall, but still. So it can almost, it's like a foot away from my ceiling. Half a foot maybe. Yeah, but it looks cool, and all you do is just screw the thing. It's insane. Now, what else? Durability, like the blades. You can hit them pretty hard. I already did a lightsaber duel with my friend, and yeah, for what they're worth, they're pretty durable. Just don't go around full force whacking trees and whatnot, because they probably would break. But see, with baselit, you get what you pay for. They're good for dueling and whatnot. Now they are expensive, but that's why I did wait for the May sale, because it gets go off for 50%, and $100 ain't bad. So I mean, yeah, I would probably consider waiting if you were planning on making purchases for them. Obviously, if you're a really cool I love character lightsabers type of person, I wouldn't purchase cxsabers unless you really wanted to duel with them or show them off, because they're just not. Even dueling is don't do it, but unless you just wanted to show them off, or if you want convention type stuff, or you wanted to show them off there, go for it. By all means, go ahead and purchase them. But they are going to be expensive. I think their most expensive currently is a little under $800, I think, but I might be wrong. I haven't checked in a while. But they do frequently go on sale. They also have buy 2 get 1 free, or buy 1 get 2 free sales every once in a while. Now I will say, don't go whacking things with this, because the blade, it's not that great. It will, if you whack it at full force, it'll break. But I would recommend for dueling, semi light or semi medium dueling or whatever. But they're good. I also wouldn't spin them around too much, because these things are screwed on. And one thing about NeoPixels or lightsabers in general that do that are that they don't stay on. They'll typically slip out if you put too much pressure on them. But you probably would have to spin like crazy in order to do that anyway. But yeah, my only gripe about them is that they are expensive, especially if you don't get them on sale. And they are kind of confusing, like the buttons. I don't get those. Like, how do you do that? Everything else though is fine. The grip is another thing. I don't like it. It's just weird. It doesn't stay on. It'll move around a bunch. It just doesn't make sense. But yeah, I think overall though, pretty good quality for what it's worth. It feels nice to hold. But one thing I did want to say is that they do have, like, I think 5 versions of these. For baselit, I'm pretty sure they have 3. The first one is the ones I have. They're the cheapest. They're like $200 on, like, off sale. And you get what you pay for. They're, for dueling and whatnot. If you want better sound quality, then you're going to go for the second option, which I'm pretty sure is S16 or S14. I might be wrong on those, but that one has better quality. And then the second one is, it just has better overall, like, functions, has more options, lightsaber options. Same with the second one. But then you go into NeoPixel, and that's when you're really going to spend money, and that's when you're really going to get, like, better quality LED, and, it gets better once you get up there. But if you're going to go for a really, like, good budget lightsaber, go for these, the S4s, I'm pretty sure. Now these, they just feel so nice. They're good quality. And, I'd give them, like, a solid, like, 7.5. Mainly because they are for dueling, and they just don't got, like, style in them. No, they don't get style. I should have spent a little money and get the one where you can change the color of the hilts, like, red, orange, and stuff. That would have been cool. But, they're good lightsabers for what they're worth, and, if you're going to spend that money, go for it. If you're gonna make, like, videos where you're gonna, like, be dueling and whatnot, absolutely, those are for you. For conventions and you're going, like, a cosplay, maybe spend a little extra and go for, like, an Anakin or a Leia or something that's fit your cosplay or whatever. But, overall the lightsabers are pretty good. Just stick with dueling with them, or just showing them off, like, I don't know, just something. But yeah, pretty good lightsabers overall.